General Mohammed Buba Mara retired, noted that their operational successes and those of the compatriots across the country are well appreciated. He urged them not to rest on their oars, but continue to intensify ongoing drug supply reduction and drug demand reduction efforts. That's it on arrests and seizures. Now here are some of the WADA activities for the week. Over to you, Netta.
Thank you, Mariam. My name is Netta Wedozie, and here are some of the WADA activities across the country for the week. Substance abuse has a wide range of consequences, and as such, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, through its War Against Drug Abuse WADA Social Advocacy Flagship Program, implements a thorough sensitization strategy that will ingrain in the society a culture that shuns drugs and seeks healthy living. WADA is deployed as a systemic drug education program designed to interrupt the cycle of substance abuse, promote preventive behaviors, and help communities move towards a more resilient, drug-free, and healthy future. On Monday, 10th June 2024, the Borno State commanded a vigorous campaign against drugs by delivering WADA's sensitization lecture and inaugurating WADA clubs in no less than 3 schools in Benishek, Kala local government area of the state: the Aisha Muhammadu Buhari Model Junior Secondary School, the Government Science Secondary School, and the Adam Mustafa Model School. While on the same Monday, the Yobe State Command took its WADA sensitization campaign to residents of Pompomari community, Damaturu. The Kano State Command also facilitated a WADA advocacy lecture to students of Government Secondary School, Bunkore. On Tuesday, 11th June, the Gombe State Command delivered a WADA advocacy lecture to students of Government Comprehensive Day Senior Secondary School, Hina. Similarly, the Niger State Command delivered a WADA enlightenment lecture to students and teachers of Khulafaur Rashidin Islamic School, Babana, while the Ocean State Command also delivered a WADA sensitization lecture to students of Command Day Secondary School, Ede, also on Tuesday. Following suit was the Kogi State Command with a lecture to students of Demonstration Secondary School, Kaba. Concluding the WADA activities of the day was the Oyo State Command with a sensitization lecture to students of Mine Builder College, Oyo. The Abia State and the Port Harcourt International Airport Special Area Command rounded up the WADA activities for the week on Friday, 14th June 2024. The Abia State Command with a WADA sensitization lecture to students of Agri Memorial Modern School, Arishu. The Port Harcourt International Airport Special Area Command with a lecture to students and teachers of Wisdom Gate International School, Ibuta, River State. That's the update for this week. My name is Netta, and I hand over to our host, Mr. Femi Babafeni.
Thank you very much, Miriam and Netta there. Thanks for the update. Welcome back from the news hour segment. Now, let's remind ourselves about some of the rules that are engagement on this platform today that's on this program. Please note that when we are put to be on the speaker's corner, let's ensure that we remain muted until after our special guest presentation and we start inviting individuals to unmute themselves to ask questions, make their contributions in a few seconds. Please note that we will not encourage unauthorized interruption, but we don't disappoint. This gets us to the rules so that we can all enjoy and benefit from our conversation. We're going to be adjusting the schedule of this conversation. We'll most as things are okay, but before I get to that, let me also quickly tell us about the NDLE's call center. That's the call center in place to encourage those that need help to stretch out and get the needed help. All they just need to do is to call our toll-free line, that is 0800 1020 3040. The number to call is a toll-free helpline, 0800 2020 3040. That's all you need to dial. That's the number you need to dial from the comfort of your home without the fear of being judged or being stigmatized. And you have our counselors, psychologists, psychotherapists, and psychiatric doctors on the other side of the line to attend to you, to talk to you, take your details, empathize with you, and then support you and see you through recovery. Please note that with this, really, nobody should really have an excuse not to seek treatment. So please, we encourage those who are struggling with substance abuse and related payments. So please step forward, seek support, seek help from the agency through our toll-free helpline. Experts, the mental health experts will always be willing, and the center is open 24/7. All of the professionals there work on shift 24/7. And another beautiful thing about the center is it's language sensitive, meaning that if you cannot speak or communicate in English or even in English, our experts there can always speak with you in any of the 3 major Nigerian languages, that is Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. So please let's take advantage of this and get the needed help, either for ourselves if we are the ones involved, or even for our loved ones and our friends. Now, okay, like I said before, we're going to be adjusting the program slightly today. First, then let's remember that indeed this program is also starting with the week of the World Drug Leaders International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. So we would also like to take some brief interventions from some of our past guest speakers on the theme for this year's World Drug Day, and that is invest in prevention. And coming on later will be the chairman chief executive of the agency, who will be speaking on drug abuse, NDLA, and preventive interventions, basically telling us what the agency has been doing and is doing in the area of drug demand reduction, trying to provide, trying to put some preventive mechanisms in place to avoid quite a number of our people going into substance abuse. And those that are already in need, what the agency is equally doing to get them the needed help. And up on that list is Dr. Abdullah. Dr. Abdullah is of the Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital. He would talk to us on the theme for this year's World Drug Day. That is, the evidence is clear, invest in prevention. And at the end of that conversation, by the grace of God, when we have just one or two people make some interventions in this regard, we will then be having the chairman chief executive make his remark, and then would go ahead and have some interaction and question and answer session with him. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Abdullah, for always being available for us anytime we ask of you. Thank you. We appreciate you. You can go ahead or mute yourself, and let's get your thoughts on this year's theme for the World Drug Day. Thank you. Yeah, can Dr. Abdullah hear me? Yeah, Francis, can you liaise with Dr. Abdullah if that's settled? Can Dr. Abdullah hear me? Okay, maybe pending when we are able to connect with Dr. Abdullah, let me share some thoughts with us briefly on this edition of this program. That's like I said, this edition is particularly special to us, as we're honored to have the chairmanship executive of the agency, General N.B. Mara, retired, coming on as a special guest, and that underscores the importance of this program and the unwavering commitment of the Ndlea to the cause of drug control and public awareness, public sensitization. Would also like us to know that indeed our journey with the Ndlea space began shortly after the then Twitter, now X, made this feature available to all users. Our inaugural session, those that have been with us from the beginning will recall, held on the 4th of June 2021. 4th of June 2021. From that humble beginning, humble start, where we ventured into this new and dynamic form of engagement, we've grown exponentially. Today, by the grace of Almighty God, we celebrate not just a milestone of 100 sessions, but also the profound impact and extensive reach we have achieved. Over the past 3 years, this program has become a cornerstone of our media and advocacy strategy. We have successfully used this platform to sensitize the public about drug-related issues, raising awareness, educating, and engaging with millions every week. Our discussions have covered a broad spectrum of topics, including drug prevention, enforcement, treatment, and rehabilitation. We have shared, not we as individuals, but then quite a number of our guests that we have brought on the space have indeed shared real-life stories of recovery, and also provided expert insights on drug trends and discussed the implications of drug policies and laws. We would also like to state that indeed sensitization and advocacy are critical components in the fight against drug abuse. Through consistent and strategic messaging, we have aimed to change perceptions, reduce stigma, and promote healthier lifestyles. Our X-State sessions have featured experts from various fields, including healthcare professionals, law enforcement officers, policymakers, and individuals with experiences. This diverse range of voices has encircled our discussions and apologies that has enriched our discussions and provided a holistic view of the issue, that is the drug issue. We have also focused on the importance of early intervention and education by targeting our youth and vulnerable populations. We have also aimed to prevent drug use before it starts. That's the whole essence of prevention. Our advocacy efforts have highlighted the need for comprehensive drug education in schools, community outreach programs, and the availability of resources for those seeking help. We are indeed proud to share that our Ndlea Weekly X Space program has attracted more than 3 million listeners cumulatively from inception to today. This remarkable achievement is a testament to the relevance of our discussions and the public's growing interest in combating drug-related issues. Your active participation and indeed engagement have been the driving force behind our success. There is no doubt about that. And as the feedback and interactions we receive during our live sessions are also invaluable, week in, week out. They not only guide our future topics, but also ensure that we are addressing the concerns and needs of the public. The stories of transformation and hope shared by our listeners inspire us to continue our work with renewed vigor. So today's session, like I said before, which coincides with a series of week-long activities we have lined up to commemorate the World Drug Day. This is a global initiative observed on June 26th every year. Actually emphasizes the shared responsibility we all have in addressing the world drug problem. Our activities this week have aimed to deepen public understanding, foster collective action, and celebrate the efforts of those working tireless in the field of drug control. We actually started on Wednesday with a press conference where we announced the activities for the week, and there has not been a stop to that until the grand finale on Wednesday next week, that's the 26th of June. The theme for this year's World Drug Day, that is, the evidence is clear, invest in prevention, aligns perfectly with our mission. And we have organized, like I said, different programs, education, schools-based programs, as well as workshops, public forums, and to promote this message. Indeed, our goal is to ensure to create inclusive and supportive environment where individuals affected by drug use can seek help without the fear of judgment. I must also state that as we celebrate this 100th edition, we look back with pride and look forward with renewed commitment. We pledge to continue using this platform to inform, educate, and engage with you all on the critical issues surrounding drug control. Together, we can make a difference. We'd like to, at this point, thank you all for being a part of our journey. We thank you for your wavering support and dedication, and we're glad that indeed this effort is making impact, and we've been enjoying and having impactful sessions. Quite a lot of people there. Okay. Let's quickly take some of these brief interventions before we get the chairmanship executive to speak last, so that we can have a seamless interaction at the end of his presentation, rather than him speaking first and then we have that's, I think, the way we've decided to adjust the program. So is Dr. Abdullah ready now? Is your network stable now? Can somebody liaise with Dr. Abdullah? Let's confirm if he's ready now. I can see he had to exit and come back again. Okay, let's give some other people opportunities, those that are ready on the speaker's corner. Let's give them some other opportunities. Let's have some share their thoughts with us on this year's World Drug Day. That is investing in prevention. That is, the evidence is clear. For those that are already well seated on the speaker's corner, please let's have your thoughts. Let's have your views on this particular one before we move forward. We'd like to give this opportunity to everyone, throw it open now, so that we can have a seamless conversation after this session. Okay, Jones Uche, please go ahead. Let's have your thought. Let's have your view. Yes, please go ahead. Jones Uche. If Jones Uche is not ready, let's ask. Okay, I'm aware Dr. Abdullah is ready now. Okay, Dr. Abdullah, we used to think the network in Zaria has always been very perfect until today. I'm surprised that the network in Zaria will have been. Okay. Okay, let's have some interventions from our commander there, Bashir Ibrahim. Let's have some interventions there on the theme for this year's World Drug Day. Please go ahead, Commander. Yes, please go ahead, Commander. You are already you from unmuted yourself. Why is the network tumbling everybody upside down? Yes, Commander Bashir Ibrahim, you are live. I guess it's also a network problem with him. We can hear him, but he's obviously. Okay, let me come back to Dr. Abdullah again. Dr. Abdullah, are you? It's almost a very difficult one for. It's almost a very difficult one for the village people of some people, not our guest speakers. Those I'm seeing some messages from some people that are saying village people, the network of village people. Okay, it's really not the network. Okay, somebody is saying the network might be from my end. I'm not believing so. I guess because I'm seeing everybody. Commander Bashir. Yeah, it's certainly not from our end. It's certainly not from our end. I guess I used to experience that as. Yeah, I'm getting different suggestions now. Okay. Ibiroka, let me hear you. Let me check. Let me cross-check with you. Can you hear me? Can you talk to me? Let me be sure that it's not a general thing. Okay, let's go to those. Let's go to those joining us from the US. Let's see if the network is different. Then Loretta, can you hear us? Can you speak?
I can hear you, Dr.
Definitely, it's not. I'm sure it's.
That was why I requested the mic, so we'll be sure that it's not from your end, but it's a local thing. I can hear you. Like, I can see people speaking, but they are not audible.
Yeah, they are not loud. They are not coming up here. I guess it's the network from their end.
Okay.
So we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Your network is dropping us, carrying us up. We are losing the space. It's your network. Fine now, sir. Thank you.
Okay. But Loretta, you say you can hear me. Somebody is just saying nice. Maybe.
I can hear you loud and clear.
So how come? No, I guess.
Certainly, the network is not from you. I can hear you, everyone, loud and clear.
Okay, very well, Abdullah. Thank you.
So people can just drop off and try to connect again.
Come back. Yeah, I think that should be it. For those who are not, okay, Dr. Abdullah, can you hear us now? Can you speak to me? Unmute yourself. Let me be sure you can hear and communicate with us. Okay, Commander Bashir, can you also yeah, who is that? Okay. Okay, Sati, let me hear from you, please.
Yes, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so that I suspect must be an individual thing. Then that is certainly not from this end. Okay, let me hear from Commander Bashir Ibrahim. Let's try you again.
Dr. Femi, Oga Bashir is speaking, but we can't hear him. So if he can hear me, let him drop off and join again. Dr. Abdullah, you want to also drop off and join again because you're still muted.
Yeah, he's still muted.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Abdullah.
Hello.
Okay, now you are back.
Dr. Loretta, I'm able to hear you, but I'm not able to hear Mr. Bashir and Mr. Babafeni.
Okay, but I can hear you now, Dr. Abdullah. Loretta, can you talk to him that he can go ahead?
Can you hear me, Loretta?
Yeah, Oga Bashir, Dr. Abdullah, if you're the one speaking, go ahead and we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I cannot hear Mr. Bashir. Neither can I hear Mr. Babafemi. So I don't know what
Just go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. Babafemi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, AGN.
Okay, can I give you a few suggestions?
Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. For those of us that can't hear other people speak, you have to drop. So when you drop, there is a pop-up that will come up to report your challenges on the space. So there is a place you report. You can't hear speakers. You would tick, then space instability. So if you do those reports, it will help the overall efficiency of the space. I think maybe that will help, sir.
Thank you very much, AGN. We appreciate that. Okay, Dr. Abdullah, can you hear me now? Okay, Loretta, let me speak to Dr. Abdullah if you will hear me, since he can hear you.
Hear me, Loretta. Can you go ahead and speak? We're listening to you. We can hear you. So, Dr. Abdullah, can
Yeah, tell Dr. Abdullah, please.
Dr. Abdullah, please go ahead and speak. We can hear you.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon to everyone on the space here. I don't know if I'm loud and clear.
Yes, you are. We can hear you loud and clear.
All right. So the theme for the 2024 International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, the evidence is clear. Invest in prevention. You know, this theme highlights the growing recognition that prioritizing preventive measures is crucial in tackling the global drug problem. So the question is, why prevention? Drug abuse and illicit trafficking have devastating consequences for individuals, families, and communities. You know, they contribute to health problems. For example, overdose claims countless number of lives each year. And drug use can lead to a range of physical and mental health problems. You know, it can also lead to social harm. Drug abuse fuel crimes, we all know, and violence. It can disrupt social structures, and it can lead to homelessness and unemployment. Also, we look at the vulnerability. Young people are particularly susceptible to drug use, and those struggling with addiction often face stigma and discrimination. So let's look at the power of prevention. And when you invest in prevention, you are able to stop all the above issues I have mentioned even before they arise. So how do we go about it? Just like we've been doing on this space over the years, education and awareness programs, equipping individuals, especially young people, with knowledge about the dangers of drugs and healthy living choices can significantly reduce the risks of drug use. Life skills development, when building resilience, communication skills, and healthy coping mechanisms can empower individuals to resist peer pressure and navigate challenges about resorting to drug use. Also supporting families and communities. When we strengthen families and communities with resources and support systems that can create a more positive environment for young people and those at risk. When we look at the early intervention, early intervention and intervention for those struggling with substance use can prevent addiction from taking hold. You can actually take care of the problem before it gets out of hand. Now we look at some of the challenges and the possible solutions that we may profile to these challenges. We look at resource allocation. Investing in prevention programs requires adequate funding, which can be a hurdle for government and organizations. The resources that is needed can be difficult to come by. So this is one of the challenges. Shifting mindset. If you look at the traditional approach that emphasizes punishment and enforcement, it may overshadow the importance of prevention. Like we've always said, we are in a society where up till today, up till this moment, drug use problems are still looked at from the moral perspective, and punishment is seen as the best way in dealing with this problem. So it can be difficult to shift that mindset. Of course, with this effort we are making, we are hoping with time the society will begin to shift from that moral and punishment-based approach to a more humane approach in dealing with these drug use problems. Then we look at sustainability. Effective preventive strategies require long-term commitment and ongoing evaluation. Like I mentioned earlier on, resources can be a problem, and as a result of that, sustainability problem. So we need to work on that a lot, and how to get resources and how to make sure that we have a long-term commitment to dealing with these problems. So what are the way forward? I mean, the way forward from these challenges that I have enumerated. You know, the 2024 theme calls for collaborative action from various stakeholders. You know, governments by allocating resources for evidence-based prevention programs and promoting international cooperation. This can go a long way. Civil society organizations, you know, by developing and delivering preventive initiatives, you know, tailored to specific
if you're using an iPhone, iOS, and you're not updated to the latest version, X has done something that you now have to go to your privacy, go to open the settings, privacy, microphone, and then you choose the mic. You need to update your app. If you update your app, you will see the mic. If you don't update the app, you will not be able to talk on anything that requires microphone. That's what's happening. So everybody must go to iPhone settings, then make sure you're already in the latest version of iPhone. But you go to X, iPhone settings, go to the App Store first. You see X update, click that, it takes 1 minute. Then you go to the settings, privacy, microphone, and then you will see the apps that need microphone. Just allow all of them. That's what's going on. I just saw it on Twitter's X's bug page. So anyone with an iPhone is going to have a problem. I've done mine. Android doesn't have that issue. It's only iPhone. That's what's going on, Mr. Babafemi. Well, for everybody that has iPhone.
Okay, so the big people are now the ones having the problem. Okay.
Well, you know what? It's really
are the big guys in town.
Yeah, the thing is, what is really going on? We don't discuss politics on this show. It's really what's going on between Elon Musk and Apple and the AI business. So everybody's doing revenge. You know, that's really what it is. So if you have an iPhone now, you can't use a mic until you update, and that's the deep politics part of it. So everyone should really go and update their X app now to be able to talk on any space, on anything that needs a mic. Yeah, right. So mine is done.
Just let Dr. Ndlea land.
Sure. Thank you. All
right. Thank you, Dr. Kevin. Please, Dr. Ndlea, if you can hear us now, please let's have you complete your intervention.
All right. So I think, I don't know if you had me till the
you were profiling solutions. Yes, that's where you went off.
All right. So I was talking about government allocating resources for evidence-based prevention programs and promoting international cooperation, which is a very key component in preventing all these drug use problems. I spoke about civil society organization by developing and delivering prevention initiatives that are tailored to specific communities. Every community should be looked at as an individual community. So these interventions are tailored towards their needs so that it can be more effective. And then families and communities, by fostering open communication and creating supportive environment within the family and community structure, can go a long way in combating stigma and discrimination, and that can lead to very positive outcomes. And we look at the individual by making informed choices and advocating for preventing efforts. Individuals can also contribute their quota to these challenges we are currently having. So I will conclude by saying that by prioritizing prevention, we can break the cycle of drug abuse and create a future where individuals and communities can thrive. The theme for the 2024 International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking is a powerful reminder that investing in prevention is not just an option, it is necessary. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to contribution from other speakers so that we can rub mine. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much there, Dr. Abdullah. Okay, let's take, we're actually trying to manage our time so that we can take interventions and contributions from all our compatriots, especially past guest speakers and all of those seated already on the space before we connect with the chairman to make his presentation, and then we'll have some interaction with him, and that would have been able to succeed in working within the time that we have. Okay, Loretta, are you good for us? Let's have your intervention on the theme for this year. Please go ahead.
The theme for this year resonates so well, but my stand is just like, not going to reiterate what Dr. Ndlea said. I would have loved Dr. Kemi to quickly jump in, but I will just say that my take is for equity and access to treatment, access to support. There's a lot going on, and it's getting worse by the day. And my fears and concerns about the increase in drug use in Africa. Look at what's happening in Syria alone and other countries. People are actually going that far to go to cemeteries and grinding bones and sniffing it and mixing stuff. It's frightening. And so, like everyone has always known, my take might not really be in tandem with the team, but it will always be community-based support, community-based intervention, access to relevant and important needs for people with substance use disorder. And whatever we do, whatever we say, as in line with the theme for this year, as we need to be very deliberate about reducing stigma, increasing knowledge, and having people access the support they need. And like I've recommended, and we're working towards it, to have what we call a service, a behavioral service directory. It's a huge project, but it's something I'm hoping that the government and Ndlea could also look into. That will also ease people's direction. It will guide people on where to seek help. And once we have increased knowledge about what this substance does and how people get it and how people are required to support people going through this process of recovery as well, and having people not being ashamed and coming out to request for help. Something happened last 3 weeks ago. Someone called and said, "Girl, I need help. I have relapsed. Please help me. Please. I'm dying." And that situation was someone had what we call naloxone on his table, and he was using a bag, and he thought that once he overdosed, he can at the same time reach out for naloxone and help himself to recover. Unfortunately, he overdosed and died while he had fentanyl by his side on his table. So there's a lot of education and health literacy that we need to push out there. A lot of words that have to go out there to reduce stigma. And finally, we need to support people at the community level who are struggling with substance use disorder. Thank you for allowing me the mic.
All right, thank you very much there, Dr. Loretta. Dr. Loretta joins us from Chicago, Illinois. Thank you. Okay, now let's have the big madam, Dr. Kemi. Let's have your interventions on this this theme. Yeah. You are the big madam, telling us all that is happening.
Say that theme again. the theme is evidence is clear, right? Prevention. Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Kemi.
Invest in prevention.
That's it. So, okay, Dr. Ndlea, many of you know me as a journalist. I'm also a pharmacist. And I'm going to put a disclaimer out here because I'm seriously fed up of it, okay? I'm not a drug addict. I've never abused drugs, and I don't abuse prescription drugs. For some reason, some of these young people think I'm a drug addict and I'm back from rehab, and all these jokes they make on drugs when they don't like my journalistic opinions. I actually have never been into rehab because I've never abused drugs. I'm actually a drug abuse expert in the US. And in my 30s, I have to tell everybody I was the director of pharmacy of one of the best and the most renowned hospitals in the world, Johns Hopkins Hospital. So at 31 years old, I was the director of pharmacy for the outpatient in the community, and it was a drug rehab, and I formed 3 different drug programs. The most popular being MAP, M-A-P, directing pregnant women away from drugs. We had a crack epidemic, so mending addiction and pregnancy is what MAP stood for. I came to Mr. Babafemi and Chairman Marwa 2 years ago, showing them a barrage of letters, maybe 16 to 20 letters from everywhere I worked in America on drug abuse, thank you letters. And I posted it on Twitter for a while there to let them know I have done this stuff 30 years ago. I'm going to be 60, officially 60 next month. I was 60 last year too, but anyway, I'm going to be officially 60 next month.
Is it every year? Is it every year you are?
Every year. Yeah, that's so I can get gifts from you. Don't you know that?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Dr. Kemi, the same thing you preached has also affected you. We can't also hear you anymore. So I guess you have to do that thing you told us to do. Loretta. It has gotten to that point that the herbalist will have to also save himself.
Yes, physician save thyself.
Yeah, so physician save thyself. Now, I actually think it must be something from Twitter. I don't think because like we're having people different. Speaking from different parts of the world, and we can't just be all about network. Okay, so Dr. Kemi, we really can't hear you. Let's move on to take. Okay, let me have another very great guy with us. Let's get Ken. Let me pass the mic to Ken. Let's quickly have your take and your intervention on the theme for this year. Ken, if you can hear me.
Good evening, everybody, and congratulations on the 100th special edition with the Chief Executive. It has been a wonderful journey, and a round of applause. I think we should just give a round of applause to the Ndlea. This has become a convergence point for professionals in substance abuse from all over the world. We have learned, we have benefited so much. And Mr. Femi Babafemi, you have been prolific. I believe you deserve a round of applause too, for the coordination, for the dedication, for going beyond the call of duty to ensure that this program continues.
Thank you, Ken.
Yes, sir. Concerning the team, I must just say that the team just came like an encouragement, because sometimes our team has been strongly standing on prevention as our major intervention. And coming to hear this thing that the evidence is clear, invest in prevention. It has just been our watchword. We have invested so much, but in the course of investment, we have seen people that didn't think this was a cause to partner with. More people have become conversant with this cause. We have seen increase in sponsorship, increase in partnership, not only coming from Nigeria, but coming from around the world. So I believe now this team is now going to now resurrect. This team resonates with our past activities, our past investments, and it's going to let people that have sponsored and participated in our activities know that they have been doing the right thing. And I believe that it also foster more support for this cause. So I'm excited about it, and I'm publishing it everywhere. Publishing it everywhere. My team members, in fact, I was discussing with our head of media today. I was telling him, Paul, you see the way we have been putting money inside this thing. You see now everyone is saying that this has been the right way to go. Just let me know that God has been with us, God has been directing us, and He has confirmed His word. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much there, Ken. That's Kenneth Aneto. Kenneth Aneto, thank you, we appreciate you. Kenneth has also been one of the major stakeholder in this campaign. Okay, let me quickly come in-house now. Commander Bashir Ibrahim, are you better now? Let's hear you, please. Go ahead. Okay, I guess he's speaking, but we're not, Loretta, can you hear him? Since you are my diaspora engineer.
I can't hear Oga Ibrahim. Oga Ibrahim, can you hear me? If you can hear me, unmute yourself. Dr. Buffalo wants you to speak. Oga Ibrahim, if you can hear me. If you can hear me, unmute and speak. I'm deputy, I'm co-moderator today.
And yes, and even Dr. Kemi that was giving us solution has also disappeared with that solution. Okay, very well. Would
I'm not sure Oga Ibrahim can hear us because he's still muted.
Well, I'm seeing him here. Okay, he's muted now. No, he's talking, but he's not. Okay,
Oga Bashir, can you hear me? Oga Bashir, but if you can hear me, please go ahead and speak.
He's obviously speaking, but we can't hear him. He's very low. Definitely, it has to do with his network.
If he can just go off and
okay, we can hear you now. Now you are back.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Hello? All right, okay, yes, thank you very much. Let me be quick about it. I think Dr. Bilal has actually said a lot on what I used to say. Sorry, pardon my manners because of the network. Good afternoon. Congratulations on the 100th anniversary episode and a big congratulations to the CCEO. What I just need to add to what Dr. Bilal has said is, we don't need to even invest resources alone. We need to invest our time. The way we have family devotion, let us have a few minutes to talk about drugs. Schools should have their programs too. They should have drug use policy in schools. Ndlea them and they'll be turning you down.
It's gone off again.
I guess it's gone off again. It must be, okay, we lost him there. My colleagues are sending me messages that we lost him. Okay, let's quickly, if we can't hear him and he can't hear us, let's quickly get Ibrahim Kuru. Let's get your intervention if you are good where you are. Ibrahim Kuru, can you hear me?
Okay, Ibrahim Kuru, can you hear me? If you can hear me, unmute and please, you have the mic if you can hear me.
This certainly, Loretta, you have to talk to Elon Musk. This certainly cannot be about network. I think this has to be a space issue. Okay, Sati, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, Sati, in a few minutes, let me have your intervention.
Okay, so on what he was saying, the last speaker, what he was saying before he went off on the prevention, it should start from home. Let's go back to the drawing board. Go back to these children at home, our little brothers and sisters, our siblings, nephew, and the rest. Let's go back to talking to them about the effects of abusing, using substance, so using psychoactive substance. Explain to them what it means, and if they keep using it, what will happen afterwards. Explain to them how to handle everyday life stresses, because I mean, for most of the clients we've handled, you find out that when you ask what even led to it in the first place, it always boils down to finding it difficult to handle one stressor or the other, and then they'll just go back to using substance. So let's pay attention to this younger generation. If we're able to do that, then we would have done half of the job already. And then create awareness, not just among them, but then in churches, in schools, wherever you are, you have the opportunity to speak to, teenagers, you have the opportunity to speak to youth. You should be able to use that platform to create awareness about the side effects of substance. So for me, I think we should just, go back. Catching them young is the best thing to do. If we're able to do that, then would have, solved half of the problem. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sati. There. At this point, as soon as we're able to connect with the network of the chair, His Excellency, the Chairman Chief Executive, then we will bring him on. But then I think we may have to continue the conversation pending when we're able to connect with his network where he is. There is a change of location at the last minute, so but we're trying to work on that connection to be able to for him to speak where he is, his location. So okay, okay, Ibrahim Kuru, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead if you can hear me. Ibrahim Kuru. Okay, let's have Omar Farouk Sani, if you can hear me. Omar Farouk Sani. Okay, Loretta, you are my sound check. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Oga Omar Farouk, if you can hear me, could you please unmute and you have the mic? Mr. Omar Farouk, you have the mic. Please go ahead and speak. Okay.
Okay.
Generally, if you can't hear us, you want to log out, you want to exit and try and re-enter. So probably the network will be better. You want to just exit and come back. I don't think he can hear us because he's not unmuted, okay. He's not speaking.
Okay, let me move to another person. Hussein Ahmad. Hussein Ahmad, your background is noisy. Yeah, your background is indeed noisy. Dr. Kemi, what you prescribed for us actually affected you eventually. The solution you brought, the problem took you off the space. How?
Well, where did you hear me too?
Well, Loretta, sound check engineer. Well,
we had everything you said. I mean, we had everything you said.
Loretta, you had everything before I left out, right?
Yes, boss.
You had the crack cocaine and everything.
No, we didn't hear the crack cocaine aspect.
No, we didn't hear the. You only heard the crack cocaine aspect. You were the director of addiction at Johns Hopkins University. Hospital.
And you said some organizations thereabout.
Okay, and you brought reference to Ndlea and blah blah.
So you took me out earlier.
You did. You went off early, and I was actually asking Loretta, how come the solution you gave us didn't work for you? Please go ahead.
Physician, heal yourself, Dr. Kelly.
Wow, I don't know what to do. I'm on Wi-Fi. But I said a lot, and you didn't hear all the stuff I said.
No. Please just continue where you.
If you have time, I'll come back.
Okay, I think Mr. Umar Farouk is ready. He's online now, Dr. Femi.
Okay, Umar Farouk. Is it Umar Farouk? Yeah, who is it? Okay, Umar Farouk. Yeah, please go ahead, Umar Farouk. That's Umar Farouk, Sani.
Wow, the network is horrible today.
Okay,
really
Abdullah Yusuf. Okay, Abdullah Yusuf.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, go ahead, Abdullah Yusuf.
Interesting.
What a hectic
It's really bad. It's Mr. Babafemi, can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now, Dr. Kevin.
You should really reschedule the space for maybe next week. That kind of stuff. I just kept talking. I didn't even look at the phone, and I said a lot. I just wanted, just briefly before I go, we have heavy shipments of cocaine coming in from Colombia, 4 tons, and it's going to Europe and Africa. So everybody needs to educate their children because crack cocaine is going to come back. And I talked about methamphetamine. Can you hear me? Methamphetamine.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good. Crystal methamphetamine. The last shipment of 5 billion that the Ndlea seized was cocaine and meth, and there were 4 brothers. And I talked about, everybody in Nigeria needs to work together in their communities, especially Southeast Nigeria, where we had a problem with crystal meth in 2021 and 2022. The Ndlea did a great job with community leaders, monads, members, and all that in the Igbo community. And I talked about, I don't want anybody talking about tribal bigotry. If I see 4 Igbo brothers carrying that much cocaine and meth in, I don't want it to reach the Igbo youth. It's a very big problem with the addiction of meth and ice. People don't know how much these things cost, when it comes to rehabilitation. These things destroy, people's lives. Lots of people were killed in that whole mess thing in Igbo land. And also, anytime there's cocaine seize, somebody is sick and going through withdrawal. So please get help because the Ndlea is going to continue seizing coke. I'm really glad that I came to Spaces from February 2022 to August 2023, 18 months, because I wanted prescription drugs gone. Ndlea, congratulations. A lot of tramadol has gone down, like almost non-existent, even though some little shipment came in. 225 milligrams of tramadol is not legal in Nigeria. Only 50 is legal. And the wicked people bringing this stuff in, they need to be stopped. So pay attention. Fentanyl analogs is what's going into America. We did good with fentanyl. You can see the pictures on TikTok, on videos of people like zombies. They're using fentanyl and carfentanil, a horse tranquilizer. So talk to your young people about drugs. Prevention is definitely the key. That's all I have to say. If anybody needs to come back. Did you hear all that?
Yeah, we did.
Absolutely, we had you. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Okay, I actually want to ask us. We've been trying to connect with the chairman, like somebody suggested. I don't know what had me to. I don't know what's up with the network. Also, where he is, we're trying to.
I have a suggestion, Mr. Babafemi. I think it's best if you schedule it. World Drug Day is on Wednesday. There's going to be a lot of activities in Abuja with you guys. After those, the chairman can come.
Absolutely, we actually started since Wednesday.
Oh, you started already? Okay.
Yeah, Loretta, let me have your take on this. You think we should
well, I would say that people are actually expectant on this space today. I was scrolling around and we have a lot of people wanting to listen to the chief executive today. If we can have more people talk and we keep trying to connect, because I don't know what the availability has been scheduled already. Except to send him a message and he says, yes, we can reschedule. But I'm also sure he might also be looking forward to speaking today. So I
will tell him about the update on the Apple. They should send that message to chairman. If he's and I know chairman probably has an iPhone. That's just an assumption. If he does have an iPhone, he should switch to his Android. As when you said you can't hear me anymore, I switched to my Android. And that's what I did because he might not even know what's going on. You know.
Okay. Okay. I think Ibironka, are you in charge of your phone? Because you are crashing into the space. Let me mute you. Okay. Now I'll have to take this decision now.
Dr. Femi, have you been able to reach Olga, and what is saying? You want to send him a text or something and tell him the situation, and he should just give us his words about next week, so we take it up from there.
Yes, his message is not dropping now, but he keeps coming in and dropping. He would make time out for us to do his presentation same time next Friday if the way things are now, because he has more than, as he said, he actually has more than 1 hour to spend, and we're already gone past that. I think we should just give him. So he's asking me to ask for you people's opinion if we want him to actually make his presentation next week so that he can work towards that.
I would take next week. I'm available and I will be here to listen to it. I think it's better because after World Drug Day, Mr. Babafemi, you see what's going to happen on Wednesday. A lot of activities around the world, and everybody can come and talk about what they did, and he can come and talk about what you guys did in Abuja on that day. I think it's better for everybody.
Okay, Loretta, your final take.
Absolutely, that is coming from the chief executive about us rescheduling. Then yes, very well, let's reschedule. And we, of course, apologize to everyone here and look forward to seeing everybody next week. But we still have time. People have things to say about the team for this year. We could still give people time to speak if they are willing to. Yeah, so we can continue without Oga and we can speak to Oga next week.
Okay, thank you very much. For those who still have something to say, the floor is open. Please go ahead. Let's have your request for the mic. Definitely, he would. His Excellency, the Chairman Chief Executive, would definitely make his appearance next Friday by the grace of Almighty God. Okay. Was that too hot for me? Bafa Madu. Okay, let me at this point apologize. It is actually beyond us indeed.
Mr. Babafemi, please, I want to request some people to request the mic because we want to hear from them on this theme. Asthma and Vanguard, please request the mic. We want to hear from you today.
Who is that?
I said asthma and Vanguard. Those two handles, we like to hear from them. There were speakers on the space and they had beautiful presentations. I want to hear from them.
I have somebody raising his hand. That's Ogo Adulawo. Ogo Adulawo, please go ahead.
Yes,
go ahead.
I greet everyone in the space. I actually had just a question, not a presentation.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm wondering if, because I know Ndlea has been doing a lot in terms of, controlling the influx of drugs in Nigeria, the abuse, prosecution, and everything. There's a whole lot going on, and which I appreciate the agency for, because we all know the situation in our country right now. However, I've been wondering if, because I know basically citizens of Nigeria are the ones that are being arrested in general. When I mean citizens, I mean the masses. I'm yet to see any government official being prosecuted for drug in Nigeria. And I know that the drug business is not just a petty cash business. It's a business that involves loads and loads of funding, right? So I'm just wondering that is it that all government officials in Nigeria don't have anything to do with drugs, and it's just the citizens or the masses of Nigeria that deals with drugs, or there are some cases of government officials that are being probably investigated or prosecuted, or even there are previous prosecutions that we might probably not know of, that the agency can share with Nigerians. So Nigerians don't feel like, oh, this agency is just against the masses, and they're not really, looking at the other side of the masses, which is the government officials in Nigeria. So I'd just like if the agency representatives can share more information around this situation for us to learn from. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ogwadulawo. I'm sure that's just a perception, but quite a number of people who have worked and probably still in service on trial at the moment. I don't need to mention names because some of these cases are in court, but I can tell you that confidently, if you do your research very well, as in, I'm still talking of, as I yesterday, quite a number, at least I still know up to about 4 of such persons, senior persons that are on trial at the Federal High Court in Abuja there. So then let's be open-minded about that. There is nobody that is above the law. If you are caught with illicit drugs, you go in for it. That's the truth. Thank you very much, Ogo Adulawo. I believe that answers your question. Okay, let's get POP of Kaduna, of KD. Sorry, I already turned the KD to Kaduna. Yeah, you're raising your hands. Let's hear from you, please. Go ahead.
Good evening, all.
Good evening. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
I'm Bob of Kaduna. Yes, it's Kaduna. It's a privilege for me to be in attendance. I really like what is being discussed here, at least, and you know that there are people that are ready to do something for the society, to eradicate drugs in the society. I am a new listener here. I guess this is my second time listening to this, and what I have to say is I want to know, sir, what plans, like those that want to advocate, those that have interest in enlightening the society about the effect of drugs, of drug abuse in the society and drug trafficking, what do the agency have? What package does the agency have for them? Like we youth that want to enlighten our fellow youth of the effects of illicit drug abuse and drug trafficking. What package does the agency have for us, or in what ways can they support us? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, package. Let's be very clear about the package you are referring to. Definitely, if you are interested in joining the campaign against substance abuse, you have quite a lot of people on this space who have joined for years and are still doing their ultimate best to support the process. All you need to do is, for instance, you have a school that you want, you think you need to, they need to be addressed, the students there need to be talked to. Just get in touch with us or locate the nearest Ndlea command to you. Introduce yourself and tell them your interest, and they will definitely support you, go with you to address such gathering, whether in school, whether even in your family, whether in your place of worship, your church, your mosque. All of this, if you watch our weekly video that we produce, these are all the activities that the agency, all our commands and formations across the country have been doing, going to places, going to all these locations to talk to people about substance abuse. And that's what the likes of Dr. Kemi, Loretta, Dr. Abdullah, and quite a lot of people on the space, what they've been doing for years in partnership and in support of the mandate of the agency. Thank you very much, BOP of Bob of Kaduna of KD.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
We appreciate. Thank you. Okay, let's take Alami. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, sir, for letting me speak. I just want to ask one question. I think there's a debate going on among the masses about the manner that Ndlea search or have access to areas. Some people used to say that Ndlea do not need a warrant in order to, to search or have access to places. So I just want you to shed more light on that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me just read. A message is just dropping from the chairman now. I'm still here. Okay.
Then great, let's have him.
No. He's just dropping a message. He said, "I'm still here. I fear I might not be able to spend the time I want for any impactful participation. Perhaps you apologize and promise next Friday edition." So I think that's a commitment. That's a commitment from him. So would like to appreciate all of you again for your understanding. That's his message. I just read verbatim to you. Thank you. Okay. Responding to Al and me, you said whether there are areas that the agency cannot get to or where. Can you let me? That message distracted me. Let me get you again, Alami, please, quickly.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Some people are saying that Ndlea do not need a warrant in order to.
Okay.
Yes,
absolutely, absolutely. The ID card that the officers of the agency carry has a warrant automatically. It's a warrant to search, to arrest anybody. I think we have explained this. I think some 2 years ago. Yeah, even we made some tweets on that. They don't need to go to a court to obtain a court order, court permit before they search or arrest anybody. The ID card an Ndlea officer carries or has on him or her empowers him. Is written there. Empowers the officer to make an arrest and to make a search. I think that solves that. Thank you. Commander Bashir Ibrahim, can you hear me?
I can hear. Did you hear me earlier on?
Yeah, you went off. I think the network. Oh. Did you hear what Alami said?
Yes, I heard you very well.
Yeah, please also speak to that too.
ID card is a warrant card. So in our operations, once we show you our ID card and you identify it with our jacket and our uniform, I think you should allow us to do our job. So we don't need to go to court or go to anywhere to collect another warrant to come and to do our job, to search, to stop you, to arrest. Our ID card we carry is a warrant ID card. It's written at the back. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, please go ahead, Commander and land. I think you're
looking at the team this year, where we're talking about invest in prevention. Prevention is the key. Dr. Abdullahi has really said a lot on that. I don't need to go there side again. But the only thing I want to add briefly is we should not just talk about investing our resources. We need to invest our time, especially when you talk about the family. We do have what we call family devotion, family prayer together. We should spend time too to talk about the issue of drugs. We should advise ourselves, advise the young ones, and make it a kind of a topic of discussion. The same thing in schools too. We should have drug use policies in schools. While making our school environment and classroom positive climate for the students, we should try to have policies that talk about issue of drugs, the risk factor, the protective factors, and it should be a kind of a continuous thing, something that can be monitored, something that can be a process that can be evaluated and adjusted from time to time. You should to do that in school. The same thing with religion. Community. The community should always be have evidence-based strategies for community drug use aids. They should gather together, discuss the issue, look at the risk factor, look at the benefit factor, look at the family that are having issues, how can they come in to assist them. Then the same thing in workplace. Most workplaces frown against substance use, they have zero tolerance, but that's not it. We should have drug use policies in workplace. And it should be a topic that we discuss from time to time at workplace. Your worker might not have issue with drug, but he might have family that have issue with drug that will affect his productivity. He might have kids that have issue with drug that will affect his productivity. So we should not just say zero tolerance to drugs in the workplace and we just frown at it and we move on. No, we should inculcate it in our workplace policies and let's see how we can be helpful for those that are having issues. How can they seek help? How can they be a kind of referral and be assisted to come out of it so that you can get the better out of those that are working for you. The same thing in environment, the same thing in media. So prevention is everywhere. And information is the key. That's why we talk about sensitization, awareness, and advocacy. Most young ones go into drug because of ignorance. They don't even know what they are going into until they are deep into it before they realize it. So information is the key. We should be able to share the information everywhere in the social media, electronic media, radio, and what have you. We should be able to share this information. Any gathering we have, we should be able to share this information. That's why all of us have to arm ourselves on evidence prevention strategy. Thank you very much. I think that's my take.
All right, thank you very much there, Commander Bashir Ibrahim. Let's start with the assurances from the chairmanship executive that indeed he will make, he would have to, I think where he is, not I think, I know where he is right in the villa, so the network there, because of security issues, might not be as strong to communicate with this kind of platform. So he actually would have loved to be physically present at the office here, but then something happened, and so he was actually thinking that he tried as many times as possible, but then the thing will not work. Okay, having said that, let's get to the next. Let's yield the mic to drug abuse and illicit sex. Okay, my friend, please go ahead. Let's get your intervention or contribution quickly. Drug abuse and illicit sex, or I go back to those in the U.S. Okay, drug abuse. Please go ahead. Yes, please, we can hear you.
Okay, please, I want to.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make an anonymous contribution that I know of a cartel that is selling this drug for more than 10 years. It's spoiling the kids. No matter how you try to stop them from taking drugs, he is a big cartel. He sells it in the street very close. So I don't know how your people can be of help to try to stop him.
All right, please come to, yes, drug abuse and illicit sex. Please come to our DM and provide details.
Okay, sir, I will do that.
Come to our DM and provide details. We'll definitely take that up. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, okay, I've seen Honey Bagger. I'm glad I won't announce anything. Honey Bagger, let's have your contribution now that I'm seeing you for the first time today after you came here to take our sister. Yes, you did after you took Loretta from
It's really very.
I'm glad to see you again, finally. When I saw Honey Bagger, that's the name, Honey Bagger. Let me drag him in. Thank you. Please,
thank you so much. It's nice to be back here. And it's not as if I was completely off the grid. It's just I've been following in more in the shadow kind of thing. So
even at a point, Loretta had to use your handle. I say okay, and when the husband is exactly. Don't talk anything, no.
Exactly. So it's nice to be back here, and
I wish the honorable himself would have been here today. I have a couple of questions,
Yes,
but
I just read his message now. He's made a commitment that he will actually the plan changed just like 10 minutes to the commencement. He had an emergency call and he still planned to join from there. In fact, one of my officers had to go with him with the necessary connection tools, and unfortunately they tried. I was communicating with them while we were on. They were trying to do the connection pending while his meeting was ongoing so that he can still make his presentation, and he actually plans to spend the 2 full hours with us, but unfortunately the network from us, I mean virtually every one of us had that issue where we started, but then he's promised that next Friday he's going to make it full, and he even told me that he was supposed to be on another trip that Friday, but he had to cancel it because he has to make it back on this space. So that's how much he's committed himself. So definitely you can. I mean, you can keep some of those questions for him next week. He will be definitely here. Please go ahead.
yes, okay. So I have I think 2 or 3 questions. I'll save the rest for him. But first, the last time, maybe about a year ago, when I asked a question, and it was about the policies that guide Ndlea as an organization. And I remember my question was surrounding, a lot of things in Nigeria is guided. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of organizations, a lot of governmental bodies that are supposed to be independent in Nigeria, we know without calling name, most of them are not so independent. And I remember asking a question to this effect about a year ago or so, and you told me that there were, I think that day you even said something like the chairman himself was still at the villa. They had some policies, some bills that they are still supposed to pass. I think that will give NDLU the full autonomy to operate at any level they want. And I was wondering, do you have an update on that?
Let's clear that. Bills are usually handled by the National Assembly, and if you have been following our activities or reports on the amendment of the Agencies Act, you will see that it's just recently there was even a loud noise about the Senate passing a version of the law of the bill which stipulates death penalty for offenders, whereas the lower house, that's the House of Reps, had earlier passed a version which stipulates which recommends life imprisonment for offenders. So that's basically definitely bill has nothing to do with the presidency or I mean it's not passed there. It's only when the bill is passed at the National Assembly, then constitutionally it has to go to the president for assent in law. So as it is now, there is an ongoing effort to get concurrence between the 2 houses. They have to harmonize their position on the bill, and when it's harmonized and they agree on a single position, then the law is deemed, then they return to the conference, and then the bill is deemed passed and then sent. The clerk of the National Assembly will then forward that to the president for assent. So that's the update on that, and I think that I remember what I told you. Simply, it's just trying to. I mean, the amendment is meant to strengthen the agency. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's one. So secondly, someone asked a question earlier about the warranty. And you said the NDLEA officials that their ID card is also a warrant card, so they don't need any special warrants to do a stop and search or to make arrest on the spot and stuff like this. So my question is, let's say in a scenario, for example, let's say at the airport, I get accosted by the NDLEA officials, and they do the stop and search, and at the end of the day, maybe there was a mix-up, maybe I wasn't the person they were looking for, and situation like this. And now there are now costs attached to that stop and start because now I've missed my flight. Maybe in the course of them going through my stuff, maybe something get damaged or goes missing. Who pays this cost? And if there is any such situation, is it something that I can, hold on to it and say, okay, so you guys will have to take it, or the cost is on me and it's just my luck?
Okay, are you done? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, you want?
Yeah, that's the question.
Okay. All right. Thank you there, Honey Bagger. So you may have to mute now so that I can respond.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, the operations of the agency are intelligence-led. The agency will not just go out and conduct certain or all its operations without proper surveillance, without verifying information. There are quite a lot of processes. It's not just where you see for a single operation that you see the agency conduct. There have been lots of steps and processes undertaken, and even up to the chairman's table, approved by him. I mean, I have one of the state commanders on this space is listening. So if I'm saying something that is not true, you can always tell me that, okay, director, you are not saying the truth. I'm saying what is. We have SOP that guides the operations of the agency. So in the case, perhaps like you cited at the airport, they suspect maybe. You might be carrying certain substances, and they have to subject you to some checks, and in the course of that, you miss your flight. Definitely, they would work with, because the airlines, what they are doing also is in the interest of the individual, is in the interest of, because let's say, for instance, the information passed to the agency about the individual may not just be to the agency alone, may be to some other countries, to our counterparts in other places, and even your destination where the individual is going to. So just imagine some of the people, for instance, recently, those who were going to Saudi Arabia for Hajj and were arrested here. Just imagine that they have been caught out there in Saudi. What would have happened to them? Now they are facing persecution here. So, but then just imagine what would have happened in that case. So, whatever we do also here, it's in the interest of the individual, in the interest of the country, as well as the airline. So, in a lot of cases, our commands, our formations work with the airlines to ensure, for instance, if such an individual will have to be put on the next their next flight, because they understand. I have been a victim of security checks in other places, outside the country. Nobody, I couldn't hold them because they are doing. You are in the US, you know what I'm saying. I have been in that same US. I've been on the queue, going security checks, and my flights left. There's nothing, you can't do anything. It's just what they have to do, and that's why they'll tell you have to be at the airport so hours before. Even when you are at the airport hours before, and that still happens, you are not going to hold anybody responsible. But in most cases, the airlines, because they understand these protocols, so they reschedule you at no cost. So that's what I know, Honey Bagger.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm just going to leave it at that and save my more stronger questions for the chairman next week. And I just want to say this in closing. Between my wife and I, we do our own part. Our own little part to contribute to.
Loretta is an unrepentant advocate for Honey Bagger.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure of you yet. I can vouch for your wife, but always say for your wife.
You are doing our own meeting.
I know, that's a joke anyway. I know without you.
Yeah, I get you. So you're doing our part, but from what I can still tell, I think this is something we've said over and over again, and I know you're doing a fantastic work. I know that you and maybe the new media team, the new PR team in the agency, you guys are doing a fantastic work. I just want to say more needs to be done in changing the perception. You know, I'm still going to say this like I've said it like a year ago. A lot of people, a lot of youth, they still see NDLEA as an agency that is out there to punish them. Things happen. You know, you get into use of hard substance without even, somebody said earlier, sometimes it's ignorance. You get into it without even knowing what you're getting into. So a lot more needs to be done in this area of portraying NDLEA to the youth as an agency that is not just out there to like
as a law enforcement agency that is out to send them to jail.
Yeah. So if there is any form of traffic.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you guys somebody mentioned something about taking preventative measures. It's okay if we can prevent it before it happens. We are also, so a lot more needs to be done in portraying the agency as one that is out to say, I don't even want you to get into this thing. So you should know what you're getting into. We are here for you. If you're trying to overcome addiction, there are also support we can provide for you. Not just for you to think once you are addicted or once you have issue with substance use, we are out to throw you in jail or stuff like that. But overall, I think
Thank you,
yes.
Honey Bagger. But quite, I'm sure if Honey Bagger joined us earlier, all of this we discussed in my own presentation and remarks, even up to talking about drug, call center, the therapy and other psychosocial support services provided by the NDLEA's call center, where we have a wide range of experts, mental health experts, ranging from counselors, psychologists, clinical psychologists, psychotherapists, psychiatric doctors, and all of them. Everybody, all of them work there 24/7 to provide support for those who are struggling with substance abuse. All right, thank you very much. Like, we have barely 9 minutes. Please, guys, let's keep a date with us next week by the grace of Almighty God. The chairman has given his words, his commitment that indeed he will be back here with you to answer your questions. I noted that Onibaga already has 3 questions in the back. Okay, Dr. Kemi, let's have your final take. I can see you.
I have to go, but real quick, somebody asked me who is bankrolling us in the NDLEA spaces, and they said they've been listening to the space for about a year now. They love all our presentations, Loretta, myself, everybody. I said nobody pays us. The NDLEA does not give us gifts. They don't give us money. They don't do anything. We come here. Somebody's mic is on.
Let me check. I may have to remove it.
Mute your mic. Mute your mic. I think it's out. But anyway, real quick, I told them that we are not paid to come on the space. We don't get gifts. We don't get any perks. We come as an act of wanting to serve and to be part of Nigeria's drug-free workplace, schools, and communities. And the person asked me every Friday. I said, yeah, every Friday, because we make time to do it. If we have to work, we wouldn't come. If we have to come the last hour, we'll come the last hour. If we have to leave, we have to leave, but we're not paid. And I think the act of volunteerism needs to increase in Nigeria. I will be back next week. Everybody should update their apps, Twitter, iPhone. I even just updated my iPhone, everything will come back normal. And last thing, Mr. Babafemi, I wanted to say this with Chairman, and I will next week. Are you there, Mr. Babafemi?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, good. When you enter Murtala Mohammed International Airport and you're leaving Nigeria, that custom guy that sits there where you throw your baggage in, the first check when you throw your baggage in. That particular custom guy might be a different person tomorrow. But there's one particular guy there that always is so tired to check your stuff. He tells you, just give everybody something. And the people sitting down are customs, immigration, Ndlea, and it's not good. It doesn't look good. You know, just give everybody something because you don't feel like searching the bag if you have an instinct. So I saw people tipping people money, well done, well done. Yeah, it's not good. I wanted to mention that. But I clearly looked at the Ndlea agents. They were not happy. They didn't want bribes. They didn't want anything like that. So please, I know Nigerian customs always take their own glory of the seizures, you know, some of your seizures and all, but let them know to stop that. There's one guy that does it at the airport when you're leaving Nigeria, you know, like, Madam Pass, just give those people something small. You know, it's not good for Nigeria. You know, you don't want people to see that in the tourism area. That's my own thing. Thanks for having me. I'll see everybody next week.
By the grace of God. Thank you very much, Dr. Femi. And let me also assure you that indeed, if you have any misgiving about any of those things, you can, there are definitely channels to report that. And in our own case, like I said, I did say that indeed our activities are intelligence-led. I won't say more than that. It's not just me. For everybody coming in, we already know you are coming. So don't.
Yeah, going out.
Like, we know who is coming and who is going out. So that's we already know ahead of your arrival that you are coming or that you are going. So we know all of this. I appreciate that. Let me not say too much there so that I don't give too much.
Thank you. That was good enough. I'll see you next week. Bye, Loretta. Honey, bye, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, let's quickly take this will probably be our last take. Okay, I think I would still like Loretta and Dr. Abdullah to give their parting shot, but let me take this from Omo Naija. Omo Naija, please go ahead so that it doesn't appear like we didn't. I saw you raising your hand. Go ahead quickly.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Femi. I joined the space not too long ago, so apologies if I bring up anything that may have already been covered. I just wanted to ask a few questions. How will I put it? Your operational protocol is. So, for example, is there? Have you had situations for like people that maybe unknown to them, they were carrying something, you know, maybe help me give this to my cousin in Canada, help me give my uncle in America, and you know, there's something concealed in the package. Has there been a way to help these people? Because while I understand that ignorance is not an excuse and everybody is responsible for their actions and what they are doing, but we know that sometimes cases like this do actually happen, and you know, innocent people should, to the best of our ability, be protected, right? So do we have, you know, a way of dealing with cases like that to make sure that innocent people or cases are reviewed, or, you know, such issues are addressed, and, you know, the people that you say, oh, so person gave it to me, are tracked down, and so on and so forth?
All right, thank you very much, Omo Naija. I really appreciate that question. I'd like first to assure you that indeed we never allow an innocent person to pay for an offense that he or she is innocent of. In essence, if perhaps, okay, let me even bring, I won't mention names, but then there is a particular case at the moment in one of our commands, in one of our airport commands, where an individual was traveling and had some opioids in some of the, and that's why if you also follow us on social media, especially our post on Sundays, when these things happen, I raise it every time. Please don't take anything that you don't know, that you have not checked properly from anybody. If you go and check our post, this is a frequent thing that we do, warning people, don't take, if that thing is not packed right in your presence, or you are not the one who packed it, please don't, there is no sentiment about that. I mean, you don't have anything to lose, but just imagine if I mean, you go through a lot, even if at the end of the day you are vindicated or you are let go, but you would have gone through some psychological stress. In the course of investigation and what have you. But to buttress what I'm trying to say, there is a particular case at the moment where we've even made up to like more than 10 arrests just because we're trying to establish the truth. We had to trace it up to the last person. The person who was traveling with the substance obviously did not know what is involved, what was inside some items that were given to her, and then she said somebody who gave it to her, the person who gave it to her said it was sent from Ibadan. Then all the way from Lagos, this thing went to Ibadan, from Ibadan to Akure, from Akure to another part of Ondo State. So we are that painstaking just to ensure that an innocent person does not suffer for the crime or the offense of another person. So we do. Nobody, if the individual is innocent, we definitely, the investigations will confirm that indeed this person is totally oblivious of what, even though that is not an excuse in law because that's possession. And the law is very clear on possession. But then we still take our time to ensure that we'll get to the last person who actually is the mastermind and is responsible, the person who actually knows everything about such a package. So that I can tell you that it's one of those, and all of these things, I'll tell you, takes a lot of cost for just to establish the truth about some of these things. Like I told you, just in one case that is on ground at the moment, because we have these reports from all the commands and the Shama is updated on the go. So that's why I know this particular one very well. Just because of a single person that was arrested at the airport, we had to do investigation that cuts across 3 states and more than 6 cities involving more than 10 suspects. So we're that painstaking to ensure that the innocent is not punished. So that's that. Would like to appreciate you, Omar Naija.
I appreciate the response and I love it. If you could indulge me for one more question, sir.
Yeah, please quickly go ahead. We're on the hour.
Yeah, thank you. So there have been increased conversations around the legalization of marijuana for various purposes, maybe commercial, maybe recreational use. Such a conversation, of course, is going to involve the Ndlea as a major stakeholder. What is the Ndlea stance on such a conversation?
Thank you, Omanaja. It's obvious Omanaja is new to this space because this is something we have actually discussed. I mean, you can see Loretta laughing there. I'm sure Dr. Kemi and Dr. Abdullah, quite a lot of people here. It's actually something we have actually discussed extensively. But then the truth is, as things are in Nigeria today, with if you check some of the facts about drug use in Nigeria, the 2018 report published of the drug survey, you see 14.3 million Nigerians had abused illicit substances. I'll tell you, out of the 14.3 million, 10.6 million of them alone abused cannabis. That's more than the population of some 3-4 African countries combined, and even more than the population of some countries in Europe. But then if you want to, because the time is fast now, if you want us to discuss this further, the Chairman Chief Executive of the agency himself will be live here Friday next week. Please come up with this and we'll discuss. But then for now, it's not what the country is prepared for. I mean, especially when you put the security challenges and some of the public health implications of this on the table in our present situation. Okay, Loretta.
Thank you, sir. So I would like you to come again with the name of that document. I would like to go and check it on my own.
Yes, now just Google Nigerian drug use survey. It's on the Google. It's on the internet. 10.6 million of them. Cross check that, please. You can also come to my DM on this. Thank you. All right, Loretta, your closing shot.
Yeah, if it's okay, I want to beg that Omar Farouk, his hands have been up for a while now. So when he goes, I could just quickly chip in.
Omar Farouk, 10 seconds. Yes, please. Good evening. Okay, Bature Chico. Oh, okay. Okay, don't worry. Next week we'll have another big conversation with the chairman, okay? Now go there, thank you.
Okay, I'll just quickly go. So, thank you for that question. I'm not answering it, but I just want to say that a lot of people use cannabis for recreational, and from the research a couple of us have done, so those that actually use cannabis for recreational, they have control over what they take and all of that. But looking at Nigeria and looking at the fact that we're beginning to have fentanyl and xylazine, so fentanyl being laced with all kinds of substances, including cannabis, Nigeria is not ready for that pandemic because we're currently at an epidemic situation now with the drug use cases, but now legalizing it, we're not ready in terms of health wise, in terms of health management wise, in terms of control. We're not ready for that. And if we keep looking at other countries that are legalizing it, they still have challenges, with control and regulation. We are not even close to it yet. We're still dealing with trying to reduce the demand. So now legalizing it, we're just going to be shooting ourselves in the leg. There is no doubt that there are a lot of people, responsible, educated people, who use cannabis for recreational. Being caught or not being caught is completely their prerogative. My friend will always say, they do what they do, just so they don't catch you. You understand? So we are not just ready for it. And I am, as everyone knows, I'm an advocate of let's not cut and paste. Let's contextualize reasons why we have to do something. And so for me, in closure, as regards the theme for this year's Drug Use Day is someone talked about, I think Field Commander talked about having challenges with getting schools to work with them or partner with them. So I'm just thinking that in terms of prevention, starting at the family level, then particularly at the school level, if we can work with state governments, and we can work with state government to have that penetration, to have the state government partner with Ndlea to say that for schools, we give the permission, or we're saying to schools that when Ndlea wants to partner with you in terms of prevention programs, work with them. Because young people at primary schools, the things we read and the things we hear is frightening. They're supposed to be the future of tomorrow. But if the future of tomorrow are being drugged, if they are using substances, then our future is in trouble. So if we can work with state government, if we can work with the educational board, that will go a long way. And for the policy that Wonibaga talked about, we're looking forward to a positive outcome as regards that policy, so that Ndlea can have more power and work more with other agencies and other ministries to see how we can continue the work of prevention. So thank you very much. We look forward to seeing everybody next week.
By the grace of God, thank you. The way Loretta called Onibaga, just called Onibaga. Next time, Onibaga is a Yoruba man. Just put my husband or my love, Onibaga. The Onibaga can now come last. Okay, Loretta? Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Loretta joins us from Chicago, Illinois, and as well as her husband, Onibaga. Both of them join us from Chicago, Illinois. Dr. Abdullah, would you want to say something in 10 seconds before we close?
Yeah, I would just like to thank our listeners and encourage us that whatever we are doing here is actually making an impact. We should redouble our efforts. We shouldn't give up. We should continue to push. And God willing, we will achieve that dream society of, our dream drug-free society by God's grace. Thank you all for being part of this effort.
Dr. Ndlea is a consultant psychiatrist at the University Teaching Hospital Zaria. I appreciate all of you. And to further Ndlea said, and also what Loretta said, indeed, what this 2-hour conversation we have every week, you wouldn't know how far it goes. I'll tell you, just I read in my earlier remarks, I did say that more than 3 million people have actually listened to these things. Just imagine what the impact that has made in the lives, because we have systems to monitor all of these things. And so just imagine 3 million people. That's more than the population of some episodes with them, recording of particular episodes. I will share with them because they hear some things and they want to listen to them. They want to share with somebody that has this issue or the other. And so that's enough to motivate us and encourage us to continue to stay on this lane. And ultimately, by the grace of God, we'll get over this, God willing. Let's make it another day next Friday by the grace of God. And we're glad that even despite the fact that we had that, the hitch or the glitch and even the inability of the chairman to connect from where he is, but then live in our studio at the head office here in Abuja, he will be present next week. He made commitment written to that matter, writing me, my boss writing me to make a promise, to make a promise to everyone. That's how much he regards all of you on the space, and how much he respects and really honors your presence and your contributions. We appreciate that. And on that note, I also like to appreciate my colleagues that have been working with me behind the scene here. All of you guys, I may not be able to mention your names today, but okay, let me just say Musa, Shidi, Francis, a very strong one for that matter. Thank you, Mahmoud. Thank you, Bamidele. Thank you, Lex, Philemon, and all the ladies. That's Miriam, Netta, Comfort, and all of you ladies. I appreciate you. Thank you. And my colleague also. Okay, I also have one of my officers in Ilorin, Ibitoye, Shitu. Thank you, guys. I see all of you are very passionate about this. God bless you. Until we come your way next week, that's when we'll be holding the 101 edition. That's a lot. That's a lot of this conversation. Please do have a great evening and a wonderful weekend. Please, let's stay safe. Mahmoud, over to you guys. Bye-bye.
Attention, it starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way. It concerns you. It a kill love, it a kill dreams. It a land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior